Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. You already know it's your girl Rose. How have you guys been? It's been a very busy week. Last week, today is Monday, and this is the start of a new week, and a lot has been happening. Now, I want to give my own honest opinion on something that happened last week. Okay, and that is the whole court proceedings of Davido and Sophia Momodu. Now, let me first start by saying shout out to all the great dads out there who actually do the work. And by the work, I don't mean baby is crying, you just walk in and pick up the baby, and then when you get tired, you pass it back to the mom and all that. No, I don't mean that. I mean involved dads. I mean dads who are there for diaper changes, and dads who are there to calm down tantrums, and dads who are present for literally every single thing. Okay, I'm not just the dads that choose to show up when it's convenient, when it doesn't, affect your appointment or your shows or whatever. All right. So now, first of all, let me give a backstory. So Davido, that was just before his wedding, you know, filed a lawsuit against Sophia, asking for joint custody. All right. And there were a lot of mixed reactions trailing that and all that. And before you know what, sometime after the wedding, or sometime last week or thereabout, Sophia brought out a counter suit. So she filed um, a response. Now, Sophia filed a counter suit, okay, in response to what he had originally filed. Now, in his own suit, in David's suit, he was claiming, you know, he was denied spending time with the daughter and blah 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 and so many other things. He had bought a gated apartment for Sophia worth 200 million and so many other things. And he said a lot, okay? He said a lot. Now, in Sophia's countersuit, Sophia claimed she wasn't aware, like no apartment was bought for her. She had issues with the car which David had provided for taking the child to school, and that he would only come and visit the child previously. He wasn't banned from having access to the child, but he would only come and visit the child for clouds, basically, like when it was time to take pictures or whatever. And he had been absent from her life for quite a while. And one of the major reasons David was refusing to take responsibility was because he needed access to her body, which she refused. Okay, so now everybody's like, okay, what is going on? Because one person is saying one thing and the other person is saying a totally different thing. So I had to get my microphone so my voice would be clearer. My child was crying in the background. So everybody was like, okay, we don't understand what is going on because now there are two sides to the story. And I think sometime last week, David wrote something about how dare you bring my late child, that you keep bringing that up to hurt us every time and all that. And it was not okay that she won this time. He will allow her have Imade and um, daddy loves you and all that. That she will grow up to see that her father fought for her. Go and meet peace. And he goes, Imade Adeleke, daddy loves you. Okay. So now I started, trying to search what was going on and everything. And here he is, Sophia had put out a lot, like she put out a lot. Sophia, for me, was the definition of no grief for anybody because she was like bringing it out back to back, back to back. She had receipts. She wasn't just saying, she had receipts left, right, and center. Okay, so now this discourse comes from this point of view. There were a lot of POVs out there, people talking about what do you think? Do you think Sophia is just trying to protect her child, or do you think she's jealous, because of the wedding and all that? This is my own 2 cents, okay? First of all, we all know Davido's nature of work, okay? He travels a lot, he's hardly around and all that. So, and then Sophia is not his wife, okay? I'm saying that because it's the wife that he's going to spend more time, okay, with, but Sophia is not the wife. So, definitely, the thought of even spending enough time with her is out of the way. I guess that's the whole essence of asking for the joint custody. Now, first off, I don't even know what was the essence of asking for that joint custody, because um, let's look at what Sophia was asking for. She had the fears of the girl being around. Davido always has guys around who are literally always smoking and always high, and it would be very unsafe to leave a girl child, around those kind of people. They will blame it on the cigar, blame it on highness or whatever when it has finally happened. Okay, and that makes sense. If you are a mom, you will know that the second you give birth, there's this popular saying that goes, with the birth of a child comes the birth of a mother. So even if you are the most careless person before giving birth, the moment you give birth, you notice that you have this need to protect. Even right from pregnancy, if you actually look at pregnant mothers, you will see that if anybody comes towards them, you unconsciously, they just shield their tummies or their bumps, okay? Is this maternity or maternal instinct, or just that instinct to protect? When you're going legal, you bring every single thing on the table. There's no hold back. Do you understand? So you're going for a legal case. You started it. Okay? You started it. Every single thing that can be found will be used. And it's pliable. I saw a lot of people say Nigerians being very savage. How can you use the death of a child and all that? What happened to him is very, very unfortunate, but it's definitely going to be used, because every single scenario is going to be used, especially when it comes to the safety of another child. So that is definitely going to come into play. Okay. And how can you guarantee that this one that you're asking for joint custody, how can you're always you are always globetrotting, you're always traveling. How do you guarantee the safety of this child? Okay, it's okay for her to be by the mom, and you can come and visit whenever you want, and you can take her out whenever you want, as long as, I think the taking out part was as long as the nanny was present, then she could go anywhere. So I really don't know why there was even a need to even file a suit for joint custody in the first place. I just felt it was unnecessary. Then now let's come to Sophia's part. Like, my darling, what are you up to? You are staying in a 23 million naira apartment. Or borrow your own, or borrow Keji. It's not yours, like you're renting. Make it make sense. Make it make sense. Online trolls will come and tell me, because you don't have money, you don't know what it's like. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with staying in even 100 million apartment, but make sure it's what you can afford. Do you understand what I'm saying? Because for her to be asking for help from David, that means it's not sustainable for her. The question is, why are you doing it? I saw a lady give an advice. She said, you're complaining that the car David bought is not functional. Why not get a 10 million naira apartment and use 15 million to get a functional car? Which made sense. Like, seriously, why are we so hell bent on living above our means? Who are we really trying to impress? Who are we trying to impress? Like, seriously, when I heard that, I was like, seriously. Then the fact of her, being rude to David's dad, or turning down a request and everything. My own opinion is that, like she said, They had already booked flights and made their own arrangements. So I don't think it would have been fair, to cancel all that because of a family trip. Whatever they must have booked for must have been very important as well. So whatever she must have booked for or arranged for, of which flights has been paid and all that, who is going to refund that? I honestly get where Sophia is coming from. Do you understand? Like when she said she hung out with the cousin asked to hang out with Imade and she rented out the place. She said costs on her. To hang out with people like this is quite expensive. And if adequate preparations or whatever are not made ahead of time and the bill is falling on her, it's a lot. It's a lot. You can imagine to play with someone, you have to rent out a whole play area. Or that is a lot. So that's a lot. And it's not just enough to just want to be the dad, when it's convenient for you. Okay, being a parent, what happens those nights when the child is running a fever and needs to be taken to the hospital? It's only the mom there. Okay, so I feel a lot more consideration should have been given. The whole lawsuit should not even have happened in the first place. You don't even need to take it legal. You both sit down. I get it that he's trying to say the girl is like trying to rip him off or using the girl's needs. Like, I mean, how much was she asking for a nanny? That is crazy. Okay, so maybe that's the only place where legal whatever should have been applied on, how much she should be paying monthly or yearly or whatever for upkeep. But I really think Sophia is doing a fantastic job. I think she's just a mom trying to protect her kid. At the end of the day, everybody will be fine. It's not for nothing that God gave their rules, okay? God gave commandments and rules for a reason. When we break those commandments, we are the ones who end up getting hurt. They are not for him, they are for us, okay? Thou shalt not do this. When you do it, the ultimate result is hurt, okay? There's a way that seems right unto a man, but the end thereof is destruction, all right? So there are so many things, that could have been avoided if morality was called into place, all right, in the first place. But so let's try to be present and intentional in everything that we do, okay? Because at the end of the day, we suffer for this. The children are the ones that end up suffering the most for things like this. So if we're being intentional in all that we do, I think selfishness will be out the window, all right? So thank you guys for listening to my video, and I really appreciate it. Thank you for liking, subscribing, and sharing this as well. Bye.